Good morning and welcome to a beautiful day here in Essex. So I'm sitting in the churchyard of St Nicholas at the moment with the Grade 1 listed church just behind me, which dates to 1180, and I've got a fantastic view just up to the Norman keep of Castle Hedingham through the trees over there. So I'm here to start an 8.5 mile route called the Magna Carta Walk. It connects Castle Hedingham with Clare Castle in Suffolk, and in 1215 the Magna Carta was signed by King John to prevent a rebellious uprising by the barons who owned these castles at the time. So the route likely follows the original track, or very close to, that connected these two castles and was used to communicate in the Norman period. So I've just left the beautiful historic streets of Castle Hedingham behind me, with the lovely Norman church with its original oak doors, and also the Falcon House, as well as a must-see, a Grade 2 listed 16th century house. Now I've just entered this lovely area of park pasture, and I can occasionally get views up to the castle keep itself, which has been really nice. Now I know there is another footpath around the other side of the keep, which allows for some better views, but I wanted to keep to the original trail. So the castle itself is a Scheduled Ancient Monument with the upstanding remains listed as Grade 1. Now it's believed that the castle itself was constructed around the late 11th century. So I've just joined this farm track which leads towards Great Lodge Farmhouse. The farmhouse dates to the early 16th century and is Grade 2 listed, but it also offers a fantastic view across the fields over here. I reckon I can see at least 8 or 10 miles. So I've just crossed about a mile or so of this vast open farmland. It's actually really quite nice. And I've arrived at Colliersley Wood. I'm not sure if that's how it's pronounced, but that's how it's spelt. Now, the route doesn't actually go through the woods, but it is known that this wood was present in Norman times. And it's likely that the original route to Clare from Castle Hedingham went through these woods. So I'm just coming up to the tiny hamlet of Knoll Green. This little hamlet did used to have its own pub, but that sadly closed a while back, even though it still shows it on the OS map. You can actually take a little detour off to the right here. There's a pub called the Half Moon Inn, just at Belchamp Pool, about half a mile or so up the road. So if you need any supplies or anything like that, you can head off piste that way. But for now, let's head through the village and see what it's like. So Knoll Green is actually close to Belchamp St Paul, Belchamp Otten and Belchamp Walter. Now Belchamp, it sounds like quite an unusual name for a village, but it's actually a Norman word which means beautiful field. And when you're walking through this countryside and looking over these fields, there really is like a very rural open beauty about them. It's really, really lovely. So I've just entered this beautiful tree-lined track called Long Lane. Now it's likely that this is one of the original Norman tracks that linked Castle Hedingham behind me with Clare Castle just ahead. It really marks the last leg of this walk as it descends down the hillside into the historic market town of Clare. So I recently stepped off Long Lane and it gave me an absolutely lovely view up to Clare Castle. I'm just crossing the meadows now, just before Clare Castle Country Park. But what I'm going to do is actually head off trail briefly to have a look at the lovely remains of Clare Priory. And then I'm going to head up to the castle ruins themselves. Now I've just entered the grounds of Clare Priory. Clare Priory is an Augustinian priory founded in 1248, and it was actually the first Augustinian priory founded in England. Sadly, it was also one of the first priories to face the dissolution of the monasteries in 1538, and now lies as a bit of an overgrown remains just in this beautiful garden here. There are some upstanding remains, including now a chapel and another building that's used as a retreat. It's absolutely gorgeous and a must if you're doing the Magna Carta Walk. So where I am right now is inside the Priory Church, and this happens to be the site of the altar. Now the whole area is a scheduled ancient monument, and the upstanding remains as well, including the house over here. And if you look through this window, this has now been converted into a church. They're all Grade 1 listed, but the ruins still have plenty of these amazing Gothic windows. And this is also the site here of Joan of Acre, Countess of Gloucester, daughter of Edward I. So there's royal connections here as well. Now in spring and summer, this whole area is just beautiful with flowers. They've got beds of flowers here and a little orchard as well. And it's a wonderful place to come and have a picnic and just have fun. It's absolutely gorgeous. So as I enter Clare Castle Country Park, you can't help but notice the massive motte topped by the ruined castle and part of the curtain wall around the bailey. The entire area is a scheduled ancient monument and the upstanding remains are protected as Grade 2 star listed buildings. It is also said that the motte is potentially Saxon in origin, as Saxon burials have been found in the area, but also the town has been settled at since the prehistoric times. So here I am on the summit of the motte and the big castle wall just behind me, which once encircled the entire top of the motte and protected some wooden buildings inside. This actually marks the end of the Magna Carta Walk. So I've walked from Castle Hedingham, which is about 8 miles in that direction, to here on the top of the motte in Clare. There are some fantastic views over the countryside, including the town as well, just behind me, and down on the country park itself with the fantastically preserved railway house and goods shed. It's been an absolutely lovely walk, very historic, and what a place to finish a lovely trail.